Hello, everyone. This is timing. Totally intentional, and in fact, it actually was.
Okay. If you say so.
Oh, I
mean, it was
completely
because the new
forgot
snap
that
comes
Hal
out.
made this game. Wow.
Also, Jack and Beans.
Jack and Beans.
Man, in ye old days of like 1999, this was impressive. This was the height
It
of
was
game
impressive.
graphics. Nothing could ever be better than this.
I mean,
Hey, Pokemon in 3D was a big deal at the time.
you say that as a joke, but it really was impressive. Of course, that's what happens when you have a game that is literally nothing but graphics and doesn't have to worry about much else.
Generally speaking, yes. It's also ridiculously short, so...
Yeah.
Like, the only thing stopping me from beating this in less than an hour was I messed up on one of the Pokemon signs and had to redo a course once. But when you know what you're doing, this is definitely a less than 1 hour game.
Well, shall we introduce our guest for today?
Hello, it's me, Nora. Some of you probably
Hi,
know
Nora.
me because I'm dating John. Others may know me because I have an excruciating Archie Sonic live blog I've been doing on Twitter. Oh, excuse me.
Why would you do that?
After a while, you hear about Archie enough that you kind of just get curious.
Not me, but okay.
Last I checked,
You're also
she's
you.
getting pretty deep into the Ken Penders era. So,
Yes.
boy.
Hey, Knuckles isn't green anymore. So we're trending up.
oh,
Hello there, you dumb piece of shit. Go and take pictures for me while... your mom's still single, right? Yeah, go and take pictures of all the Pokemon. All of them. There's like 800. Go, come on, go, out of here.
But, Professor, there's only like 57 on this island.
Hey, can we talk about how in the anime, like Ash's mom has sexual tension with either Professor Oak, who definitely has children, or Mr. Mime, which is definitely bestiality?
Mr. Mime is a way better dad than Ash's dad, who we know is still around, because it's mentioned once. Oh, man. Okay, so, I guess brief history. I've played this game like twice at friend's house as a kid. I never owned it. But I never understood the appeal of Pokemon Snap. Maybe it's because the first N64 game I played was Pokemon Stadium. So it's like, yeah, I played a real Pokemon game with 3D Pokemon. What's so great about this? You take pictures.
It's primarily also because you don't really have much Pokemon stuff that's like this besides the anime where you see them just doing their own thing rather than here's a trainer battle. You stand on one side, your opponent stands on the other. You throw a foot graphic at them.
Yeah.
It's one of those games that's more just an experience rather than, a fun adventure or whatever else. It's enjoyable, but not for everyone.
I do understand what Ryan's talking about, though, in that we need more Pokemon games in this vein. I guess there's some that they've been doing with, like, the mobile stuff where there's that, like, cafe thing where you run a Pokemon cafe, but that's a mobile game I don't think many people care about.
We're getting Pokemon Breath of the Wild soon, so we'll see about that.
Hopefully that ends
single
up
frame
good.
of animations.
Wait, is that a Ditto?
No, that's a
Chansey.
Chansey.
Oh.
It's rolled up into a ball and rolling around.
They're supposed to do that? Okay.
Yeah.
This was like a year after Red and Blue came out in America, so Pokemon was still in its awkward. We're not really sure what things are.
Have you ever read the Pokemon manga?
Did you?
Where
Just
apparently Hitmonlee's legs are springs, and
Is that Electric Tail Pikachu?
Did you just not bother to take a picture of that Kangaskhan just now?
You get bad
It
points
doesn't.
for
You have to come back later, and you get more tools to interact with them better.
Yeah. If you take the picture of it as it is now, Professor Oak will say, no, it's not looking at the camera, so you get shit points for this one.
Should we talk about the scoring of this game? It makes no fucking sense. Because Professor Oak just decides whatever the fuck he wants to give it.
You're the worst photographer I've ever seen, Ryan. Now, you said your mom was single, right?
The unfortunate thing is that, you can't really grade photography automatically.
Here's kind of what the game is looking for. It wants it to be in the center of the frame, and it wants it to be basically as close as possible, even if it's right in your fucking face.
Yeah.
Those are the two things that matter the most.
Even if that's a horrible composition for a
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't really know what to look for, so...
Yeah, it's like one of those things where if you look at nature photography, like, yeah, there are some cool photos of like a tiger really close and you can see the detail of its fur or whatever. But like in terms of actual like trying to study that Pokemon animal, shit, you want to like see its environment. How does it make its bed? How does it interact with other tigers? You know, that kind of crap. And if you just have like the face of the tiger in the center of the photo, you aren't doing that. Like,
But that's how you get your ZUBAT tiger poster.
oh,
What?
dude, ZUBOX is dead.
Why is
Oh.
Redhead dancing? Like, he looks like he's dancing. He's swaying his
Oh, you mean-
hips, waving
You mean
his
Todd
hand
Snap,
around.
who's actually... You mean Todd Snap?
Good old Todd Snap.
He was actually in the anime for one episode.
I thought he was in the anime for a while in the Orange Islands arc.
No, that's Tracy.
Oh, okay.
Todd Snap, I think, does have multiple episodes, but like,
He's at least a thing. It's one of the rare times where the anime took something from a game,
Ah.
and not like oh, we're just doing a vague outline of the actual game and not actually caring about it that much.
The only other time I can think of the game doing something from the anime is the Pokemon Puzzle League challenge, whichever one was the N64 one.
then Yellow. Yellow was like,
Oh yeah,
Just
Yellow.
like-
Yellow was
Yeah.
basically just the anime. You're right.
yeah.
Yellow's kind of weird because it's fundamentally just still a base Pokemon game, but
They just
Puzzle
threw
Puzzle
Jesse
League,
James.
yeah,
They threw
Puzzle League
Jesse
is-
James, you can get all the starter. That's the big
Yeah,
thing.
that's basically it. Puzzle League's weird because it was just a panel to pawn game in Japan. They're like, we still can't market this in America. What's popular right now? Pokemon. Okay, slap the Vor Kids voice actors over
Ryan,
it.
you're gonna give me a seizure. Stop that.
So it was basically Mean Bean Machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the exact same treatment that they did for Mean Bean Machine and Kirby's Avalanche, where it's just like, we can't market cutesy anime girls in our puzzle game, so let's take whatever franchise we own the rights to and slap that likeness on it.
I mean, that sounds cynical, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure they couldn't market that if they wanted to.
no,
I mean, real-
Not in the 90s, no.
maybe
It probably sold better than if they just sold as panel to pawn, so.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Back then, it would have looked indistinguishable from like a random Barbie game, which no one really would have.
I mean, maybe in like by the 2000s, like early 2000s, Sailor Moon
maybe
was
by the-
popular enough that they could have marketed it as a magical girl kind of thing.
Yeah.
maybe, but again, that's kind of pushing it. So I understand why they did it in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I can understand it, but at the same time, I know a lot of people are really into the panel to pawn and
deep lore.
the Puyo Puyo lore, because apparently you're just friends with Satan.
Oh,
or
Puyo
something.
Puyo lore goes fucking deep.
I didn't know Puyo Puyo had lore. That's
Puyo
There's
Puyo not
70
only has
million characters.
It's not only does Puyo Puyo have lore, Puyo Puyo is actually a spin-off of a totally different dead RPG series, which, from what I understand, ends with Arl dying and Satan makes the Puyo universe so that Arl can come back.
what?
Wait, what?
That's what I heard. That's what I fucking saw someone post that on Twitter earlier. It's like, shut up, this can't be real.
That
I don't know if
sounds
it's-
like the fakest shit.
It sounds like the fakest shit, and yet I believe it.
Yeah, me too. That's the problem.
Oh boy.
It's like, okay, how can you get a score on Pose for frickin' Kakuna? Like, it just sits there. It has no other thing that it does. Wait, well, hold on. How is that pose better than the first pose where he's like crouching and crap?
Yeah. The game does a weird thing where it'll occasionally kind of gatekeep you based on Pokédex or score requirements, but as long as you're decently good, you'll never run into them.
Yeah.
So, like, if
Kinda
you
weird.
don't take enough pictures, it won't unlock a certain level,
Yeah.
and you have to go back. Okay.
Yeah. And this game also has a number of secret exits, which you basically is just basically the game saying, You did that course the first time. Now do it again with this thing I'm just going to give you.
So like Star
Like
Fox,
right now.
but
Yeah.
Well, no, Star Fox, you can always do any alternate route you want as long as you're good enough for it. Here, I literally could not reach the secret exit until I got this apple.
Why?
Because
worry
yeah, at the end of the stage, you have to throw the apple at an electrode so it'll explode and open a path.
Huh. Why an apple?
because I guess it's the only food they could think of that any Pokemon could eat.
Pokemon has a weird, like, relationship with food as well, because they don't want to establish what kind of meats would be eaten in this world.
Even though
They
Pokedex
just-
entries do state that Pokemon eat other Pokemon, like, literally
Yeah.
all the time.
And
So
people eat
every
other-
Pokemon
and people
is a
eat Pokemon
vegetarian
like
by
Farfetch'd and stuff. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this was before they established berries were a thing, like, at all. Berries only first appeared in Pokemon Gold and Silver, and they weren't given their modern names until Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. And so in modern games, people just only eat these berries, it kind of feels like. But in the Pokedex entries, it's like, oh yeah, no, they what was it? Which ones eat? The Anteater and the ants from Gold, Silver, from
Heatmore and Durant.
Oh,
From
from
Black
Black,
and
and White?
yeah.
Yeah.
Weird
Can't do
egg.
anything with this
Sure,
yet.
that won't be relevant.
What?
Oh yeah, I guess Pokemon Gold and Silver didn't invent Pokemon eggs. Man,
I guess not.
what a fake Pokemon fan I am, right?
I'm still, like, really not sure about Pokemon eggs. Just considering the lore as I understand them.
They don't want to imply that, sex exists.
Yeah, so that's why all the breeders don't know why it
They
appeared.
show up. Yeah.
I feel like the breeders totally know and are just saying that because you're a child.
Have you
Yeah,
all
but it-
seen the Awkward Zombie comic about it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like, look at these two. Do you know what's going on here? And it's like a Muck and a Clefairy or some crap.
Yeah. It's one of those. It's like I get it's a kids franchise, but I'd be really curious if they made just like a teen-rated Pokemon, so they could actually talk about some things that are very questionable. Without
They
an
would
explanation.
never.
I know they never
Yeah.
would, but the point is still.
I don't even know
Yeah.
if they've ever made like an E10 Pokemon game. Like I think
I'm sure E10's been done once or twice, but
I feel like Colosseum's the
but
closest.
no, maybe the Gale of Darkness game was a T on GameCube.
it might have been. Hold on, we have the power of Google. I can just
Look up the box art.
Yeah, I can just look it up. Coliseum 1 was before Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, so it definitely
Anything before that was before.
Oh no, Coliseum was an E.
Oh really?
Which
Yeah.
makes sense because there's not really anything like
Bad
dark in it,
but-
like actually like adult. It's just dark. You
Just
know.
edgy.
Yeah, it's just edgy. Oh, Gale of Darkness 2 was also rated E. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I think
If any were going to potentially get a T, it would have been those two.
the only teen-rated game that I think has Pokemon in it is Smash Melee.
Melee.
Um,
And the only reason that's a T is because E10 didn't exist.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, Smash Brothers. Like, I mean, I guess I can understand it being too violent for an E-rated game, but still, that always was kind of like, really? Is that really rated teen? But whatever.
It's also a matter of who the fuck cares. There's basically no difference between E and T games anymore.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like,
Only if it's at the upper end of T, borderline M. But at that point, you're kind of just like basically an M anyway.
I think I would let most 8-year-olds play most teen-rated games, I would say, if
Yeah.
I were their parents. But I'm having a hard time thinking of many teen-rated games that I wouldn't give to like an 8-year-old.
Rapidash.
Rapidash.
Don't you want to hear about it?
You see, Rapidash was always one of the weirdest Pokemon for me because it's designed so cool, but you don't get it until like the very end of the game.
VULPIX.
It's also not very good.
Unless you're playing Gen 4, in which, boy, if you didn't pick Chimchar, you're sure running a Rapidash.
It's like the only other option, right?
Yeah.
I think they added like
I think they had like
VULPIX
2 more in
and
Platinum.
Slugma maybe in Platinum.
Yeah.
Platinum added all of them that got new evolutions in that one, along with a couple others.
I know that in Sword and Shield, they're like Rapidash and Ponyta are both fairy types rather than fire types.
Psychic Fairy, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Which was
Which if you remember, Ted, you remember the whole 24-hour nature broadcast they did just to show Galarian Ponyta?
Oh god.
And Joe America Serby went literally basically insane doing that.
did they just kill each other over an apple? What
Yes.
the hell?
Yep. Nature is cruel.
That's part of the fun of the game, honestly, is because you can lure them together and they'll do different things like Charmander's calling for food. And look, there's more Charmander coming down now.
That Charmander evolved into a Charmeleon to get back at Magmar. That's adorable and also kind of terrifying.
Is there a way to stop the car again?
No. The only way is if something's obstructing it, such as this egg that I'm brushing up against right now.
I really, really, really hope that in new Pokemon Snap, they don't have that.
I am a flaming Moltres.
Yeah, it's like I think I would enjoy this game more if you could play it on your own pace. Because the way it is right now, it's basically just like the Jungle Cruise at Disney World, and you're not given enough time to actually like interact with the Pokemon and like try to get them to do different things.
Well, I mean,
You know,
They kind of got to make sure you get a move on.
well, that
I mean, this isn't the kind of game where you want to get a move on, though, isn't it?
I mean, part of the it's part of the challenge is the thing.
It is for this particular style of photography game. That said, it would also be very fun if we had a version of this, or like maybe a separate mode, where we could go at our own pace, sort of like we're actually studying in the wild. Oh Jesus!
Like
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the only other game I can think of that's even sort of styled like this is Endless Ocean for the Wii,
I was about to bring that up, yeah.
which I have not played, but that's basically just like chill in the ocean and take pictures and crap.
Well, even with Endless Ocean, like, only Endless Ocean 1 lets you really just chill and hang out. In Endless Ocean 2, you have an air meter you have to manage, and there's a bunch of other stuff you have to worry about.
I feel like putting that kind of stuff into that kind of game kind of misses the point, because it's like that kind of game's not about goals, you know? I mean, sure, it technically adds challenge, but not every game is supposed to be about challenge, especially... I mean, I guess I can kind of understand it with Pokemon Snap, since it's a much older game, and games where you just kind of do nothing didn't really exist. Like, it wasn't until...
The closest I can think of would be like The Sims.
Yeah, even then, though, I think that The Sims in this came out around the same time.
The Sims-
Well, no, the Sims is early 90s.
The Sims and SimCity and those kinds of games, they all had goals, but they also had gameplay styles where you could just ignore the goals, which wasn't common, but was a thing that you could do in some games.
The first Animal Crossing came out on N64, but that was a couple years after Pokemon Snap.
It was 2001. It was one of the last games Nintendo ever made for the N64.
Yeah.
And even then, like, the GameCube port of that one's pretty... From what I understand, it's pretty close to the original. They added some new stuff, obviously, but...
They added a lot of stuff, because if I remember the story correctly, Nintendo of America's localization team spent so much time playing Animal Crossing that it lowered their productivity. So that's part of why it got over. And they were like, there's way too much Japanese stuff in this game that no one's going to understand. So they changed all the holidays and certain other stuff around.
Hey, it's Egg Day.
I think even like Harvest Moon initially was more goal-oriented than it is today.
Yeah, you could technically beat Harvest Moon back in the day.
Well, I know like there's at least one version of one of the games, I think A Wonderful Life, where the game does literally just end the moment you get married. It's the girl version. I don't know why they did
wait,
that.
really?
Yeah.
They just end it? Oh,
They
God.
just end it when you get married. I don't understand why.
Is that the one that took out the lesbians? Because, man...
Oh, I remember hearing about that one, where it's just like you can technically get married to like the secret princess or whatever as the girl, and they took that out because we can't have the gays in Harvest Moon.
Never mind that, like... fucking lesbians running off and owning a farm is one of the big stereotypes.
You're right, though.
I've never heard about that. I just know that that was kind of a what the fuck game design choice when I found out about it. Thankfully, they don't do that anymore.
It's just also baffling to me that they had to release a boy version and a girl version of Harvest Moon. They couldn't just have a boy-girl option.
Yeah,
You know?
that was confusing, but that's how they did it back in the day. Nowadays, it's like they remade for the Switch. They remade Friends of Mineral Town under the Story of Seasons title that they're using now. And
Yeah, the
they
whole
just,
Natsume Harvest Moon name debacle's its own other can of worms.
they just combined the two versions for the remake because, well, that's standard now. But it was previously two different games. There was Friends of Mineral Town, where you played as the kid in the hat, and then there was the girl version, which was creatively titled More Friends of Mineral Town.
All right, we have to come up with a different name for the girl version. Okay, do we put pink on the cover, right? They won't get it if there's not pink on the cover. All right. Okay, it's Mineral Town. What do we... More Friends of Mineral Town? Ship it. We got 3 other ports to do by lunch.
I mean, is it really any better than new Pokemon Snap and new Super Mario Brothers?
Okay,
New
so...
Nintendo 3DS.
Like,
God.
I understood New Super Mario Brothers as a title because at the time that bringing back old 2D Mario was it was kind of a cool concept, and just sticking new on the title in this big little advertising font with a splash design and everything, it was eye-catching and it got the point across. New Pokemon Snap, I don't really get why they called it that. They could have come up
yes,
with...
we've been wanting a new Pokemon Snap for the last 20 years.
Yeah, but like they could have come up with any number of subtitles for it based around the photography and animal study motif, but no, it's just New Pokemon Snap. They missed an opportunity for a really great game title.
Also, regarding that game, I am 100% convinced it was always a new Snap game has always been the in case of emergency break glass, like Square's Final
It
Fantasy VII remake.
feels like it.
Yeah.
Like
Not after the a lot of the backlash Gen 8 had. This was it feels very much like okay, we need to get the fans back on our side again.
Yeah,
I mean...
I hate to be the cynic, but that's just
I
what
know.
it feels like.
I'm still interested to see what they do with it, because a Pokemon Snap in the modern day could be very interesting. On the other hand...
It's one of the few things that would have worked really well on the Wii U, and they didn't do it.
yeah.
Yeah, Fatal Frame is enough.
Same demographics for sure. We'll see you all in the next part.